Alright, hey guys, Ferret here, and welcome back to another video, and today we are back again with Celestial Crossing. I'm really sorry. I've been so long getting back to this playthrough. I do apologize. I just moved house. I know I've been talking with you guys about it for a long time, but it has officially happened. I have moved. I am finally in my new place. I was without internet for a while in my new place. And it was just, moving is just crazy in general. Anyway, you guys don't really need to know all that, but I've moved, I'm back, I'm ready to do some recording of some videos, so let's go ahead and get right into this one. Once I'm finally recovered enough to rejoin the world of the living, I lead us out of the Credit Convention Center and toward the bus stop where we catch the last one heading back to the apartments. We pay our fare and share a seat toward the back. I spend the ride home thinking about what the developers said. It was all just random stuff that they made up on the spot, but I try to consider it from the viewpoint that everything about the past few weeks has been batshit insane. Why stop suspending my disbelief now? So with that in mind, a door. The doorway in between Nearthe's world and mine was a dream the first time, wasn't it? I mean, I was asleep at the time and I woke up with her suddenly there. But I had slept every single night since then and nothing had happened. Maybe I have to dream her away from it to actually work? Maybe, but who can control what they dream about? I glance over at Nearthe, who is already fast asleep, leaning her head against the window. Would she laugh in my face if I told her what I was thinking about? Or just smack the back of my head and tell me to stop wasting my time thinking of nonsense? Hell, what if it all was just nonsense? And if it was, would having Nearthe around for the foreseeable future really be that awful? Yes. Yes, it would. Aside from the obvious complication of her being an unapologetic bitch, there's also the logistics of the situation to consider. How the hell am I going to explain her to my dad? Is she going to be able to make it on her own in the world, or will she be stuck living with her for the rest of my life? I feel my blood pressure rise at the thought of the future looming ahead of me. A future filled with yoksubi bread, violent wake-up calls, and no dates. Ever. Because what sane girl would date a guy living with a super tall cosplayer who refuses to wear pants? Feeling more drained than ever, I push off these thoughts aside for now. They aren't helping anything but my potential for going prematurely bald. A yawn rises up from my chest suddenly. We're about to dream about it, aren't we? All of this thinking reminds me that we've had a long day. I'm pretty exhausted, physically and mentally. I settle in for a short nap until we reach the apartment, resting my head against the back of my seat. The bus lifts to one side as we make a sharp turn and my head lolls onto Nearthe's shoulder. She grunts but doesn't wake up to punch me in the face, so I stay there. It's a much comfier position to sleep in than trying to sleep my neck craned upward. As I drift off, I reason that I'll be able to process the day's events much more easily when I wake up anyway. I wonder what's gonna happen. Something feels off about this. I'm very obviously dreaming, but I've never been aware that I'm dreaming without waking up before. There's nothing but darkness. There's just been dark forever. Am I supposed to be seeing anything? Darkness and a dim outline of something in the distance. When no other choice presents itself, I make my way toward the shape ahead. As I get closer, it's split into two, and I can soon make out the form of a woman standing next to a door?
About time you showed up, useless.
I'd recognize that voice in my sleep. I mean, obviously, because I just recognized it. I finally reach the door, and the person standing next to it is indeed Nearthe. She grins.
Well, I didn't think you'd be able to unfuck yourself long enough to do it, but you managed to impress me, hero.
What'd we do?
You found the doorway.
Yeah. I guess I did, since we're presumably in my dream, but I don't really feel like I've accomplished anything. All I did was fall asleep. Why do you think it worked this time and not any other time I've fallen asleep? Nearthe gives a careless shrug.
It could be that the spell had a time limit. Or maybe it's because we fell asleep together for the first time. It could even be the simple fact that you fell asleep touching me. You have a really heavy fat head, by the way.
That's thank you. Thank you. I want to argue that I can't be that easy, but the evidence is staring us right in the face. As if sensing that our conversation is over, the doorway starts to glow with light around its edges, almost as if...
It's calling me home.
Oh. Okay. She doesn't say it with hesitance or excitement, just acceptance. You don't have to go if you don't want. Her snort is confronting and familiar enough that I relax, despite the setting. I feel a small smile form on my lips in answer to hers.
I do have to go. At least in my world, I have a purpose.
But
Besides, I miss being able to raid, loot, and maim anytime I want.
I mean, her grin stretches wide, and she offers one last, uncharacteristically gentle slap to the back of my head.
Do yourself a favor and man the fuck up. Tell that cute girl how you feel and stop wasting her time.
With those parting words, she opens the door, letting out a flood of golden light, and without looking back, she steps through. I shut the door and lock it behind her to make sure nothing else can get out. The instant I let the latch drop, I wake up with a loud snort. I'm alone, sitting on the bus where Nearthe had been only minutes before. The bus is parked right at my stop, and I scramble to get off before the driver leaves. He gives me an extremely odd look as I step down, and I wonder if he remembers the girl I got on with. Outside, the air feels chilly, or at least I notice it more now that I'm alone. I simply stand there for a time, wondering if the events of the past couple weeks really even happened. I stand there so long, it's a surprise when someone touches me gently on the arm.
Hikaru, are you alright?
I turn to see a concerned Mika holding my sleeve uncertainly. It takes me a second to realize she's waiting on my response. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
She bites her lip.
Where's Nearthe-chan?
She remembers her still, huh? I am a little surprised to hear the name said so easily. Was it all real after all? She, had to go back home. I'm sorry, Mika-chan, but you missed her.
Oh,
She looks genuinely disappointed.
that's a shame. She seemed really cool and interesting.
You could say that.
I would have liked to get to know her better.
Speaking about Nearthe to Mika makes me wonder. If everything about her was real, should I take her final parting words to heart? Tell her how I feel? I gather my courage and open my mouth. She's gonna tell me no. And then she looks directly into my eyes. There's nothing aggressive about it, only curious, and I still shrink away, all of my old insecurities falling back into place at such a familiar scenario. Stomach flooded with butterflies, I sprout the first bit of nonsense that pops into my head. I wanted to wash those dishes you lent me before giving them back. Just give me a few minutes and I'll bring them to your apartment.
Oh, sure. That's fine.
She looks disappointed before. If she looked disappointed before, it doesn't hold a candle to the expression she's wearing now. Are we just gonna get... Okay. Is it over? Are we just bad ending? Is this what's gonna happen? I turn my back on those big, sad eyes of hers and practically run toward the apartment building. I curse myself the whole way up the stairs, through the living room, and into my bedroom, where I immediately jump on the computer. The login screen of Celestial Crossel beams at me with Nearthe's character, rendered in all its three-dimensional glory. I click on her inventory menu and try not to imagine the scowl of disapproval she'd be wearing right now. Her digital face blinks at me accusingly, and I find myself reassuring her. Next time. I promise I'll do it next time. Ugh. What a horrible ending. Blah. Oh, really? Well, shit. I was like, all of a sudden, there was way too much sad music going on that whole time. I was hoping maybe, like, at some point there, like, I was gonna get, like, popped in with, like, a Nearthe, you think she's leaving, but she's actually back. No. Alright. Well, we'll have to play through this, a bit more to get at least a better ending than that, because that's bullshit. We don't want that shitty ending. Thank you. It was still good. I just, I obviously apparently did not play that very well. Anyway, guys, I've been Ferret, and I'll catch you back on the prowl next time.